Alright guys, welcome to another video on this channel. This is my graphics channel, so I don't really put much into it unless I'm in a graphics groove or something, so I'm sorry about that, but I really have wanted to do tutorials for a very long time, and to kick off the tutorials, I think I'm going to start with a thumbnail, and with the thumbnail, it's kind of like the Call of Duty style you see around. This is my own personal style. I pick things from other people's styles and kind of make them into my own, so there's not really a distinct style besides this glow right here. So I'm basically going to show you how to make this type of thumbnail, and I might put this PSD in the description, so if you want to check the description out, it might be in there. To start things off, I don't usually size out a thumbnail, I just open a gameplay picture. Here it is. Okay, so now that you have the background, it's on a locked layer, so you're going to want to unlock it. And if my voice sounds weird, it is because I just woke up and I'm still a little bit groggy. So you're going to want to unlock the layer, and I'm going to name it background. And I usually blur it out, give it a paint effect, and to do that, I duplicate it. And to duplicate it, I'm sure there's a key shortcut, but to be honest, I don't really use the key shortcuts. I kind of just do everything on the computer screen. And I just got a text. So what I do to copy it is I will take this layer, drag it down here to this thing, and it copies it. It makes a new layer. It makes whatever you drug onto it a new layer. So yeah. And to blur it out in that paint effect, I go up to the top bar and there's filter, and I go to oil paint, turn the shine down, and I pretty much just leave it like this, and all the settings will be on the side here if you want to pause the video. And then you hit OK. You got this blur paint effect. And then I actually give it a little bit of a blur. So you go back to filter, blur, Gaussian blur right here. And I just keep blur at 2.7 pixels. And the reason why I made it into a new layer is so that I can take the erase tool, and I have it on 600 and opacity 100. Like the size is 600 and opacity is 100. Flow 77. And I do that so I can erase over the feed wherever, if you hit a clip, that's where you would erase, and it kind of makes it pop out more, and this is kind of just in the background. To make a new layer, there's this button right here. It's the same one you drug on top of, but it's just going to be blank. Then we're going to name it outline. I always do an outline on my thumbnails. I don't know, I just find them really clean. So take whatever color with the paint bucket and fill in this layer. Double click on the layer on the right side, and it will bring up this layer style box. And what you do is you go to styles. There's this basic stroke one. It's just a black box basically. And then you go back to the stroke options right here and change the size to 13, position inside, opacity 0. Then you go back to the left hand, right underneath stroke, it says inner shadow. You're going to want to click that. Change opacity to 100. I stuttered a little bit. And size to 250, and it gives you this cool border effect. Now we're going to be on the coloring stage. So I'm basically just going to copy the thumbnail I made the other day. You can do this with actually any color. Make sure you're on a new layer. It could be over the outline or underneath it. I think I'm going to choose underneath. And you kind of just color it the way you want to. I'm going to go like this and like this. Maybe add a little color down there, right there. And this is the fun part, choosing which kind of, general blending mode you want. So right here, if you double click the layer, it gives you this, the blend mode, or you can just change it up here while the layer is selected. And I either like linear dodge to give it that weird glow effect, or I like to use overlay because it makes it a little bit darker, kind of like that. But if I do that, I change the opacity down a little bit. An easy tip, if you go Command U on Mac or Control U on Windows, it brings up this hue saturation thing, and you can change the color without actually making a new layer. So you can just change it and change the color. This is why PSDs are useful, because you can just go in and change the color to your desired color. Maybe I want blue again, actually. Or green. That'd be cool. No, I want this blue. That's a sick blue. Okay, so now you have the background and the color. You're gonna want to put yourself in there somewhere. So Don't tell me. Oh, there it is. So you drag it on. And to change the size without distorting it smaller or bigger in any way, you hold shift and you drag the corner. That way it keeps it the same like ratio the whole time you scale it up or down, and it doesn't distort it. And you're gonna want to pen tool yourself out. If you are unfamiliar with the pen tool, you go over here and it's this button right here. And these are my settings. Path. That's pretty much all I have. It's path. It's good. You go over to your layers box over here and you're gonna right click rasterize layer. That way you can actually delete the background. There's two ways that I do this, and one way is easier than the other. So I start from the side and I'll pen tool. I'll speed this up until like the end. Pen tooling is very difficult, so if you don't get it on the first time, just keep trying. It's really difficult unless you've spent like a lot of time working on it. And there's two ways that I actually do the pen tooling out of the background. I will actually click around the whole background like this and delete it like this. Make selection, okay, delete. Or I will do this. I will, wherever the last tick underneath you was, you click over here so it's completely around you, make selection, and then edit, copy, edit, paste, and it pastes yourself onto a new layer. So that's an easy way of doing it as well. So there you go. You have yourself pen tooled out. Now you're going to want to add that glow effect, and I'm going to put the PSD into this video so you guys can just go and save this style and mess with the settings yourself. So I just have it saved already actually down here. So the PSD for it will be in the description. So yeah, now that you have yourself, it's time for the text. Easy. It's one of the best parts about a thumbnail, and I've been doing kind of a slanted style lately. So once you pick your font, I'm not really gonna say which fonts I use, and if you want to see, you can pause the video and go look. And I'm gonna say road to clip. And if you didn't see what I just did right there, I made two different text layers. Over here, there's two different text layers because one's underneath the other, and I want to be able to move the word wherever I want with no issues. So I made two text layers, and they're really small at the moment, so I'm gonna hold shift, click both layers, and then hold shift again and size it up. And I also do two text layers in case I want to change one color to a different, like one. See, this is what I mean by that. So I'll change this one to yellow. And then road to, I want just to be white. After you get the color in it, where you want them positioned, you're gonna hit shift, select both the layers, right click, rasterize type, and then right click again, and go down to merge layers, and then right click again, and convert to smart object. That way you can do whatever you want with it and it's not gonna distort. I think the style I actually used for this one on the other thumbnail was this. I think that looks a lot better. And now we can rasterize the layers, merge the layers, sorry, and then convert to smart object and change the perspective. So yeah, I want to do it like that. So that's pretty much how I do my text, and that's pretty much the thumbnail, guys. So that is what I have for my first ever tutorial, is how to make a somewhat good thumbnail. So yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this. If you did, make sure to drop a like, comment, and definitely subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be making tutorials on my illustrations and how to do that kind of stuff. And I'm going to be making a series on how to make a YouTube banner. So if you guys want to stay tuned for all of that, hopefully I can get those videos pumped out for you guys. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.